Hello, AAG students. So we're going to try to find the surface area and volume of this right cylinder. So here's what they give us. Find the exact surface area and volume of a right cylinder. So let's stop here, right? Exact. Exact means we are going to leave this answer in terms of pi. We're not going to round any decimals. We're not going to approximate, right? This is exact, so we're going to leave our answers in terms of pi. It is called a right cylinder. Basically just tells us that this is standing straight up. Where I can actually make notes on that is down here. If this is a cylinder that stands straight up, then its lateral surface is a perfect rectangle, right? It's going to wrap right around there. All right, what else? They tell us that it is 14 inches tall and has a base circumference of 24 pi centimeters. So I'm going to deal with that first, though, right? So if I know the base circumference is 24 pi, then I think we could find some information out about that statement right there. But what I wanted to do first was this. I want you to understand that they're giving us that the circumference of a base is 24 pi. Now let's remember, that circumference is also wrapped around the circular base. So what is the circumference of the base is also the length of this rectangle, right? So I'm going to label a couple things, right? So first of all, the circumference is 24 pi, which makes this length also 24 pi. Okay. From this statement, we can actually find out something else, right? So circumference is usually pi times diameter. So if I set pi times diameter equal to 24 pi, and then just simply divide out my pi's, then what we have left is the diameter is 24 inches. If the diameter is 24 inches, then I just divide that in half and I get my radius. So right now I know my radius is 12, my height is 14, perimeter of my base is 24 pi, and the only really other thing I'm going to need is the area of my base. So we'll deal with that in a few minutes. But I'm going to come down here to my net. All right, I want to finish labeling my net. So I have the length of the rectangle. Okay, I know that the cylinder is 14 inches tall, so I'm going to put 14 inches here. I might as well put it here as well. It's the same thing. It's a rectangle. And then let's see, I have my radius of 12 inches. And then down here, I mean, just, if I wanted to, I could probably also write 24 inches is the diameter. All right, so I've got all my information. I'm ready to go. Now it's time to substitute our information into our formulas. Now, one thing I have to remind everybody is that we need to show our formula, our substitution, and our answer with a label every single time. So I've got my formulas already typed. Now what I'm going to do is just substitute my information. So the surface area of a cylinder from my formula sheet is 2 pi RH plus 2 pi r squared. All right, guys, I'm going to rewrite that and I'm going to substitute the values. So what was my radius? That was 12. What was my height? That was 14. So I'm going to replace R and H with 12 and 14. I come over here. My radius again was 12. I'm going to substitute that here. Okay, so now we need to simplify this expression here. So I'm just going to do it in two pieces. Now let's remember something, that this represents the lateral area. This is the rectangle part of it, right? So what I'm going to do is 2 times 12 times 14. Just going to type that in my calculator. 2 times 12 times 14 gives me 336. So that tells me that the lateral area, the rectangle area, is 336 pi. Okay? Now think about it, guys. If I just went down here and looked at the rectangle, well, I could find that area by doing 14 times 24 pi. And guess what 14 times 24 is? 336. Okay? So this represents the rectangular area. But that's not the total surface area, right? Because on the cylinder, we have the lateral area plus 2 circular bases. So what I'm going to do right now is add on 2 additional base areas. 12 squared is 144, times 2 is 288 pi. Now let me just quickly explain that. If the area of this rectangle was 336 pi, all right, then let's think about it. 12 squared pi, so that means one circle is 144 pi. Another circle, the other base, is also 144 pi. So what we're doing here, guys, is we're adding the lateral area plus 2 base areas, and that's going to give us a total of what? So I'm going to take 336 and add it to 288. That's giving me 624 pi inches squared. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time. Formula, substitution, answer with a label. I'm requiring those 3 steps for every question. Make sure you're doing that for your check-in on Wednesday and Thursday. Alrighty, now to finish up, volume is always going to be the area of one base multiplied by how tall it is. Now think about it. Pi r squared is the area of one circular base, and then we're going to multiply it by how tall it is. So pi radius squared times the height. My radius, once again, was 12. My height is 14. So now what I'm going to do is 12 squared, which is 144, times 14, and that gives me a total of 2,016 pi. Got to remember to put the pi back in there. Inches what? Inches cubed. All right, one last time, ladies and gentlemen. Formula, substitution, answer with a label, 3 steps every single time, and that is our surface area and volume of this right cylinder.